Welcome back. Today I'm going to listen to and watch a few videos of Manners by Band-Maid. Manners is the fourth track on the Unseen World album, which I am going through because I'm going through Band-Maid's catalog in chronological order from the very beginning, and I've gotten up to early 2021. The reason that the title down there says listen/review is because this isn't a reaction. I'm not hearing this song for the first time. I've heard it before. I've seen these videos before. It has been a while since I've seen any of the videos, but I've listened to the song regularly because I really like it. And even though I wouldn't say it's my favorite Band-Maid song, my number one Band-Maid song, I think objectively it's a really good rock and roll song. And in fact, it might be better technically than some of the ones that I consider my favorites. It just fits the rock and roll aesthetics so well. In fact, I'm reminded of that time that David Allan Coe said he wrote the perfect country and western song. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then never mind. But it's basically, I was drunk the day my mom got out of prison and I went to pick her up in the rain. I don't know, there was a truck and a dog and a railroad track. But anyway, I kind of feel like that's what they did here is just wrote the perfect rock song. If you haven't heard it before, well, stick with me. We're going to listen to it right now. Okay, this is the official music video of Manners by Band-Maid, and yes, a whole bunch of Band-Maid fans will tell you that the live version is better, and that may be true, but I'm going to watch this video because I haven't seen it in a long time, and I'm curious as to how much I remember of it, and then we will watch the live. Okay, I usually don't pause before the music starts, but I'm going to pause right there because when I was a kid, in my house, we had a bunch of maps that had these little strings and pins like this. I don't remember what they were called, and I don't remember where my parents got them. I was small, obviously, but we lived in Japan at the time, so I don't know if they're Japanese or something else, but anyway, we had several different maps of, I want to say the Pacific or parts of the Pacific Ocean, and that's what that reminded me of instantly. Oh my goodness, that little wiggling finger thing that Konami just did there was really cool. And I'm sorry I paused in the middle of Miku's scrape, but I'll back up just a second. But yeah, the first time I heard it, obviously, like many people, when I saw the title Manners, I thought it was talking about etiquette, courtesy, that sort of thing. Because if you have any familiarity at all with Japanese culture, you're aware that they were very mannered people, or at least that's a huge part of their culture, even if individuals sometimes don't have manners. But of course, it's not about that. It's not about where to place your dessert spoon or who stands up first and sits down. It's a different meaning of the word manners, as in the manner in which you do something, the way that you do something. And a bunch of the lyrics can easily be interpreted as a list of rules or guidelines for how the band is going to be. But anyway, that's what a lot of it sounds like to me. As you'll see, we get to progress, courage, difficult, those kind of things. They're setting goals and guidelines for themselves as to what to do as a band. Anyway, I want to listen to that little guitar intro part there. Musically, it feels very similar to Dragon Cries to me. It has that same kind of slower, almost mid-tempo groove to it, with just a really strong coordination of the drums, the bass, the rhythm guitar. It sounds really old school to me. Although if you listen to it next to some old school stuff, you'll realize they've made quite a bit of improvements. Oh, that's irritating. I just got interrupted by someone knocking on the door who was trying to sell me a 20-year loan on solar panels that are supposedly free, but I think it's the same guy I've told to go away 10 or 20 times now. But anyway, I don't remember what I was saying. I do kind of like that the video here is very calm and peaceful in most respects, and I'm sure there's a lot that can be read into it that I'm not going to really go into, but but it has each of the members doing, I guess, what you would call simple, peaceful things, mindful things, which I like. Let me put my headphones back on and we'll keep going. Well, this isn't going well. After I get interrupted by somebody knocking on the door, I thought I had unpaused the recording and continued viewing the video, and I paused a couple of times and talked about it, but my recording was paused the whole time, so I've backed up to about the point where I stopped before. That's really frustrating, and I don't even remember what I said and what I didn't say, but let's just keep going here, and I'll try to remember some of the things that I said. Okay, I do remember one of the things that I said was right there, that in this song, and in fact on this whole album, I think Miku has gone a little further in using her voice as a musical instrument rather than just as a second vocalist or an alternate vocalist. A lot of it is still vocals, but I'm thinking of the part in No God where she says lululu, lululu. It's almost like a percussion instrument for a second, and here providing kind of the echo for Psyche on a couple of those words. I also mentioned how in the second verse, as usual, they changed it from the first verse. A lot of times I feel like the second verse is a more stripped down version, like it's emptier, just more emphasizing the drums, bass, and vocals. But in this one, I felt like they added some things. Either way, it keeps the song interesting. Too many songs, the second verse sounds exactly the same as the first one musically. Band-Maid always changes it up. I like that. And even though right there the bass guitar was really prominent, as usual, it's not as strong throughout the song as we've come to expect from the live versions, which is one reason I'm going to listen to the live right after this. And the guitar solo was very bluesy in an old rock and roll-esque way, at least more so than I think a lot of their guitar solos are here. Konami clearly made an effort here to make it sound a little bit more like that, which for a lot of us, has a nostalgic feeling to it. Sorry, I've backed up a little bit because one of the ears just went out on my headphones here, so I'm only hearing one side. I'm trying to fix it. That little picture there, or not picture, video actually, the first time that I saw it, I thought it was a photo that was just being slowly zoomed in on, like a Ken Burns documentary or something, but then you see Psyche's eyes move and she turns her head. I think there were a couple of other really subtle movements in there as well. I just wanted to look at it again really quick. Well, certainly right after hearing it, I'm not going to change my mind about what I said at the beginning. If it's not the perfect rock and roll song, it's really close. It's fun, it's bouncy, it's memorable. It has that hard edge to a lot of the sound. It has a really groovy bass line. It has an amazing guitar solo. It has beautiful vocals and harmonies, just a little bit of shouting. You know, based on the date that this album came out, which was very early 2021, music that was released around that time would have been eligible for the 64th Grammy Awards. I encourage you to go take a look at the list of winners of that Grammy Awards. When you get to the rock section, of course, it's mostly Foo Fighters. Imagine what it must be like to be a Grammy voter, where you have to cover your ears and your eyes and ignore all this great music that's out in the world. I can't imagine it. Anyway, let's go look at the live version. All right, this live version is from May 10th, 2021. It also includes Black Hole, but I'm going to stop it before that because I haven't gotten to Black Hole yet. Black Hole is track 12 on my album here, on my version of it. And as with several of their live videos around this time, there is no audience. But let's go. Oh my goodness, I don't know if it's coming through on the version that's been processed by this recording software and then processed by YouTube and then going through the internet to your speakers. But for me, it's night and day between the official track there and this live version when it comes to the bass. Oh my goodness, I had to turn down my little extra bass boost and it's still, it's blowing my mind. Also, the intro, of course, was slightly different here, and I often wonder when they come up with these really cool intros for the live versions, sometimes I really wish they would test those out just a little bit before recording the album and then put some of those really sweet intros on the album. I know maybe it's a treat for the fans that showed up or in this case watched online, but yeah, that intro is just amazing. I wish they would include some of those on the albums. Let's keep going. Oh, I've always liked that line, until you've painted a miracle. Like, if I'm not mistaken, they're saying that in Japanese, but it's translated this way here for us, and that just sounds really poetic, and it also sounds like a good idea if the song is indeed what I think it is about, which is their guidelines for being a band, to keep going back over that song that you're writing until it's, about as perfect as it can be, and clearly they did that with this one. Wow, did I? Yeah, I did pause at least once during that. I forgot to pause more than that. I was just wrapped up in it. Oh my goodness. I think I looked over at the camera a few times, but the bass sounds so good. Of all their lives that we always talk about, the bass sounds better in the lives. It sounds the best in this one, I think. Also, this song was built for the bass guitar. Right? A lot of songs clearly sound like they were composed for a specific instrument or for the vocalist, and then everything else kind of shoves up around that. This one sounds like it was built for the bass guitar to me. If you had to start with one instrument rather than being a genius composer and doing it all at once, for me, I would have to start somewhere, like start humming one part in my head, whether it's the vocals or the drum beat or the melody or something. And in this one, I think I would have started humming or trying to hum the bass line, and then figuring out how everything else would layer around that, with it, above it, beside it. But in another way, it's also clearly designed around the vocals, and it's also clearly designed around those really cool drum patterns that Akane was doing, and clearly designed around the guitars. So that's why it helps to be a genius composer, where you can see it all at once, and it works, and you make a few tweaks in here and there and work on it till it's perfect, and you've painted a miracle. Thank you. All right, this definitely wasn't the day or time to do this recording. Not only did I get interrupted by somebody knocking on the door, and then had to do part of it over because I forgot to unpause my recording, but then my neighbor's mowing service started going, and part of their yard is right behind my wall here. So not this wall, this is my backyard, but just a few feet over there. Anyway, so I had to take a break until they moved further away with that loud mowing machine. But I did find an acoustic version of Manners, and I will just say that in general, I don't prefer the acoustic versions over the normal versions. I know a lot of people do, and that's fine. It just, for me, I prefer the rock part of the song, the heavy guitars, the bass, the drums. And this one looks like, according to the title, is just Psyche and Konami. But I do enjoy these, not only because they usually sound really good in a different way, but also because sometimes they show part of the underlying construction of the song that gets missed in the rock versions, in the studio tracks. So anyway, I don't think I've heard this one before. It just came up while I was making sure I had the right tracks for the official music video and the official live video, and in searching for those, this one popped up. I thought I would give it a listen for the very first time. So this part, you could count as a reaction, or first time reaction. Oh, there's no sound. Did I do something wrong? Sorry about that. The first few seconds were completely silent, even though I could see her, but maybe she was just going over the strings. I'm going to back up since I was talking over that.
Go to dancing world and look never that ever forever. Oh, 見たばっか騙されてるんだ。世界がモノクロ広がんないジャンプ Beginning difficult progress Courage Evolution 予想を超えて Always challenging 限界突破はいや試行錯誤で伝わ ば命を燃やせ奇跡描くまで Never ending
I will say that I did miss Miku's a couple of parts in there that I noticed were missing, but I always like to hear Konami sing. She has a really sweet voice that's, different from the other singers' voices. And I've also heard a few people, I guess, make fun of their mispronunciations of English words, but I don't think I could bring myself to do that. It's cute sometimes, but as far as the parts where they actually mess it up, I'm not going to criticize that. I mess up English words, and I've been speaking English for 50 years. And certainly if I was trying to sing in another language, because let's say Spanish was really popular right now, and I tried to sing in Spanish, oh my goodness, people from any of the countries that speak Spanish would have so many reasons to make fun of me, and Japanese I'm sure would be even worse. If anything, I'm impressed that they try it at all, and they have from the very beginning, so good for them.
You must come back 後悔に来た Go to the unseen world I look never not ever Forever Oh 100分一見にしかず翼を広げて彩りたいジャングル Beginning Difficult Progress Evolution 期待裏切るクレイバー Oh I challenge してほき Look back 時には回帰 Moreover 高めてくんだ奇跡描くまで Never ending Evolution 予想を超えてクレイバー Oh I challenge 限界突破 Hey yeah 試行錯誤でさあ命を燃やせ奇跡描くまで Never ending Wait wait 世界に向かいまた歌って Take over the world
Well, there at least once Konami chimed in with the part that Miku had done in the original, which was pretty cool. Oh, I apologize for that really horrible pause, Psyche. If nothing else, this version really emphasizes, how much range Psyche has. The low part of her voice, to me, sounds better than the high part of her voice when she's down there in the lower end of her range, usually at the beginning of these phrases, and then she goes up. And her voice sounds good up there too, don't misunderstand. But I really like the low end sound of her voice, which is something that you don't often hear in women-led Japanese music. Very often, they're emphasizing the high end of their voices, which... One thing that's different about Band-Maid from a lot of those other bands is that she often sings in the lower part of her register, and here she's doing both, so you can see that breadth of her ability. Very nice. And of course, right after I said that, she hit a higher note that sounded really, really good. But anyway, yeah, as usual, the acoustic version is fun and it's interesting and it's great, but I prefer the other versions. In this case, the live version from Day of Maid, just so much bass. Oh my goodness. Coming up next on this album, which I will try to hit in a couple of future videos, is I Still Seek Revenge, is track 5, which I'm sure I've heard, but I don't think there's a music video for it. I remember that one being fairly hard and fast, and if so, I'm going to enjoy it, but it might just be audio only. Then there's HGK, which again, I don't think has an official music video, but is also pretty high tempo. And then the next one is written in katakana, which I have learned. So I think it is Sayonaki Dori. Dori is from Tori, which is bird, right? So this is the one that's a songbird or a nightingale, right? And I think there's an acoustic version of that on their official channel, but the original was harder and faster. And then why, Chemical Reaction, Giovanni, Honkai, Black Hole, and Without Holding Back. So there's a bunch here that don't have official music videos, but I may or may not be able to find a live or an acoustic version of. I'm going to do my best. We'll fit as many as we can into the next videos. I'm anxious to get past this one. I said that wrong. I'm not anxious to get past any of these songs. I'm anxious to hear each and every one of them, but I am also getting a little impatient because we're getting up close to the point where I first came across Band-Maid, which was late in 2022. And then there were some more singles in 2022. And then about the time that I came into hearing about Band-Maid, they had just released the album Unleash. So anyway, that's why I said I'm kind of anxious to get through this, because I wanted to get caught up to the point at which I first heard of them. And then I can kind of go through. And those songs I heard after that, when they first came out. This has been so much fun. I can't wait to get to the next one. Thank you for spending your time here. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you next time.